So Calgary's real estate market is on the brink of what could be the largest real estate boom we have seen in recent history. And for the people that are getting in early, they are going to take massive strides in their investment portfolios and their financial well-being. If you don't know who I am, my name is Mason Stepaniak, and I help people grow wealth through real estate. And today we are going to dive deep into the Calgary real estate market and how it's affecting investors and some of the programs that you can use with incentives to get into larger scale multi-unit complexes to really grow your portfolio and build wealth through your investments in the Calgary real estate market. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of context, because we are essentially in a housing crisis, it's no secret, like we see it all over the news. The demand has been super high, inventory has been really low, and it's really having a effect on the home prices in Calgary and the general affordability. But because of these inflated house prices, investors' ability to cash flow on housing or their investments is becoming scarcer and scarcer, even with a 20% down deposit, right? And it's steering a lot of investors away because of that ability or that lack thereof to cash flow. Okay, but what is it that is driving Calgary's real estate market? Okay, so before we dive in, it is really important to understand what is giving all of this upwards pressure on the inventory and making housing so expensive. All right, and the first is the immigration, right? It's no secret. Last year in Canada, we set records with the amount of immigration that we had coming in, with over 1 million new residents coming into Canada. And the housing all across the country has not been able to keep up. We also have the interprovincial migration. Recently, a study showed that Alberta is the #1 area in the entire world for population growth per capita, and Calgary is receiving the majority of the inflow of residents coming into the province. Okay, we also have interest rates, and although they are still relatively high than they've been 2, 3, 4 years ago, all the indicators are showing that the rates are potentially going to drop, which is going to give more buyers and more investors more purchasing power and make the demand in the market even more significant. Okay, and then lastly, we have super limited inventory because of all of this demand, and housing cannot keep up. All right, so what does this ultimately mean for you as a real estate investor? So over the next 3 to 5 years, Calgary is likely going to see a huge spike in appreciation. In 2023, we saw roughly about 12% appreciation across all products, with it reaching as high as 18 to 20% for townhomes and condominiums, respectively, right? And there's no signs of it slowing down. But because of these inflated prices, a lot of investors are having issues finding properties that cash flow. Okay, even with some of the investment properties that I've been looking for myself and for some of the other clients, with a 20% down deposit, you're still losing upwards of $200, $300, $400 on a monthly basis. It's really challenging right now for most investors, and this is because of the high interest rates and the premiums on these properties, right? But for those investors that have the long-term vision in mind, they see that this is more of a long-term play, and the Calgary market right now isn't a cash flow investment, but more of an appreciation investment, and it is truly a massive opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really build equity and build their wealth that is going to serve them more down the line. So because of this housing crisis, the government of Canada has put a program in place to help incentivize investors to construct new low-income housing to mitigate this housing crisis that they have on. And we all know that a large challenge of real estate investment right now is the ability to receive financing through the traditional means of mortgages and through the banks, right? Because a large part of investors' wealth, they are business owners, they're entrepreneurs, and they have their wealth in other assets, but to go in and get approved through a traditional mortgage and show all the necessary items required as paperwork, it's a lot more challenging, right? And this is why the government of Canada, through the CMHC, created the MLI Select Program to incentivize investors to construct large-scale multi-unit complexes and build more low-income housing, all right? And through this program, they focus on three main pillars: the affordability of these projects, the sustainability, and accessibility. And the more pillars that you're committed to as an investor, the more points that you get that are more allocated to receiving their incentives, okay? So essentially, it works up to 100 points. And if your complex is at 100 points, you can get in at 5% down with a 50-year amortization, and then it kind of works down from there. If you have 90 points, you have a higher down deposit with a shorter amortization, and then it kind of works that way, the less points you have for your property, okay? So yeah, at most, you can get a 5% down deposit on a 50-year amortization and a 95% loan to value ratio. And through a standard investment, through a conventional mortgage, you usually require at minimum 20% down on a 30-year amortization. So essentially, you're able to afford a lot more property with less money down and receive more cash flow because of the extended amortization and have more leverage in your investment, okay? So now we know what the MLI program is about, but how do we qualify for the MLI Select program? And instead of being analyzed by like your credit, your income, like is required through a conventional mortgage, the MLI Select program analyzes based on your net worth. And essentially, you require 25% of the purchase price that you need to purchase, right? So if you want to get a $4 million property, you require $1 million in net worth, right? And based on the units, and again, the amount of points that you have on your complex, you'll require 5% down, and on a $4 million property, you're looking at about $200,000. So the reason that this is important is that CMHC has only allocated so much of this budget to the MLI Select program. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's likely not coming back. And as more time progresses, more and more investors are starting to get wind of this. I even just across the last 6 months, I've seen so many more investors look into it, inquire with me about it, and get pre-qualified for it, right? But before getting into some of these complexes, you're going to face a couple of challenges. And the first challenge is either finding existing buildings that qualify for the MLI Select program. And like I mentioned, you have to attribute to the different pillars within the program. So the building has to have affordability measures. 30% of your units have to be for low income housing. There has to be some sustainability measures in there and the accessibility as well, right? And a lot of existing complexes don't attribute to all of this. So if you go in trying to apply for the MLI Select in getting an older complex, you won't be able to take advantage of all of the incentives through the MLI Select program without doing a lot of additions or renovations on the complex. The next challenge, right, is if you go to construct new, which is what a lot of developers are doing to help provide supply for these investors that are looking to take advantage of the MLI Select program. But if you go the route of constructing newer complexes, which a lot of builders are doing, another challenge that you're going to face is finding a builder that will finance the construction costs with only 5% down. Most builders are requiring 20. We've seen some require only 10, but finding builders that will construct a complex for you for just 5%, okay? But for us, we have a few solid relationships with builders that are constructing these complexes that are qualified for the MLI Select loan, and we are releasing a bunch throughout the summer. All right, so now that we know what the MLI program is, what it's about, how you can use it as an investor, and how to get qualified for it, I want to go into why it makes the most sense and why it's most advantageous for you as an investor to get involved sooner than later. And the first reason is, well, the market appreciation, right? Because the more growth that Calgary continues to see, the more that is going to have massive impacts on the growth of your portfolio. And again, this growth isn't going to happen forever, right? Like, based on all of this, most real estate cycles have a 7-year up cycle and a 7-year down cycle. My estimates, based on a lot of the trends and the data that we're seeing, is that this growth is going to happen for about 3 to 5 years, right? So what that means is the sooner that you can get in, even if the market appreciation reflects what it did last year, where it's anywhere from 10 to 15% on a $3 million property, this could mean anywhere from $300,000 plus on the appreciation of your property, right? And for you as an investor, that is a lot of equity that is going to benefit you way down the line, all right? Another reason is the cash flow on these properties. And although the MLI Select program was created to extend the amortization period for investors and open up more cash flow, what we've been seeing even over the last 6 months is that the ability to cash flow on these MLI complexes is becoming more and more challenging, right? Because the fixed rates, even across the last 6 months, it's gone up from about 4 to now we're sitting around 4.8, 4.85 at the time of this recording. And a lot of builders are starting to recognize the market appreciation and are factoring these trends into their pricing for when these projects turn over to the investors, which are usually anywhere from a 12 to 14 month possession from what I've seen, okay? So this is going to have a drastic effect on your cash flow because the prices are increasing and the interest rates are increasing, which gives a little bit less left over, okay? We are also facing decreased inventory and more builders that are getting aware of this decreased inventory, right? And because more investors are getting wind of the MLI Select program, we're starting to see a lot of investors coming from Toronto and Vancouver looking to park their money here. It's getting more competitive. And when these complexes do come up, there are more investors that are eager to get in on them, even though some of the cash flow numbers might not make much sense. Because again, the investment strategy behind a lot of these complexes is the massive appreciation for the least money down as possible. And a lot of investors that I've chatted with recognize that, okay? We also are getting less and less affordable because of the interest rates and the builder premiums that we are seeing. And with the general appreciation of the market, the bottom line of net worth that is required for you to qualify for a MLI Select property, it's getting higher and higher because again, the market is appreciating, and that includes the rock bottom pricing for these MLI Select projects. 6 months ago, I was seeing an average price point of around $2.5 million, which is around $680,000 of net worth. And even just across the last 6 months, a lot of the projects that we have coming available that that builders are coming to us with are kind of now around that $2.7 to $2.9 million range. So just over 6 months, the bottom line pricing for a lot of these MLI qualified projects has gone up $300,000, $500,000. All right. So if you're an investor and you are sitting right now on your equity or other assets and your net worth is around $700,000 and you want to use that net worth and get another investment to expand your portfolio and your wealth, and you want to get involved in the MLI Select program or the Calgary real estate market in general, I'm going to leave my contact in the description below. You are more than welcome to reach out. I would love to chat with you about what the MLI program looks like, what it means for your investment portfolio, and the process of getting involved, and even some of the projects that we currently have available. At the time of this recording, I have about 10 different projects currently around the $2.9 to $3.5 million price range. And that obviously is going to continue to turn over as the summer progresses, okay? And I'm saying this genuinely because I care about all of you watching. This is a massive, massive opportunity for anybody that's looking to grow wealth and really set their financial well-being in the future in a good spot, okay? So if you are just looking to put an investment for yours and your family's well-being, or if you have any parents or grandparents that you want to retire that are sitting on a bunch of net worth or their current nest egg, right? If you are an investor and you want an investment that cash flows and you want to put the least amount of money down to get a large complex that is going to really expand here over the next 3 to 5 years, or if you're someone that doesn't quite have the $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 to purchase a property, and you're looking to partner with someone on one of these projects and really set yourself up for the future, we do have some of the relationships with other investors that are looking to engage a partner to go in on this with as well. You are more than welcome to reach out to me, and we can make those connections and really make this happen for you so you can expand your investment portfolio. But really, guys, the time to move is sooner than later, because as I mentioned, more investors are getting wind of this, more are applying for the MLI Select loan, and even the competition that has increased over the last 6 months has skyrocketed, and the inventory is getting more and more scarcer, especially at the lower price points around that $2.4 to $2.7 million price range, okay? And I'm solely back behind this. I'm getting my friends, my family involved, and I'm pointing all of my investors towards the MLI Select program because from all standpoints, right, from a appreciation standpoint and for just investing in general, it is an absolute no-brainer. And I would be getting my friends and family involved if I didn't fully believe in the wealth that this is going to help a lot of people grow, okay? But again, the time to act is sooner than later, and with the increased demand on these complexes, it's just going to get more and more competitive and more expensive, and the ability to cash flow on these projects is going to become less and less as the builder premiums go up, as the appreciation goes up, and as the fixed rates continue to go up as they are trending to do it. So if you're an investor from Toronto or Vancouver and you're looking to park your next investment here in Calgary and you want to learn more about the market or the program or what some of your options might look like, or if you're in Calgary and you're just looking to expand your portfolio, again, I'm going to leave my contact information in the description below. You can text me, call me, or schedule a consultation with me. I'd love to chat with you about what it looks like to get involved, some of the different options that we have available, and how you can take advantage and really set yours and your family's financial future up and take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that is the Calgary's real estate market. So thanks again for watching. I hope you guys got value from this video, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. My name is Mason Stepaniak, and we'll see you on the next video.